There's GeoVax. Okay. Soundhound. Okay, now we should be good. Right, there's GeoVax. Okay, now we got Soundhound. Okay, that was fun. Soundhound live now. Pin. I think I should go live as well. And we'll go live there as well. So let's start that. Might as well. Okay, so now we're live on Soundhound on the main channel and GeoVax on the extra channel. Welcome to everybody. And Soundhound has just crashed. Okay, here we go. Soundhound AI. We are covering Soundhound on the main channel and we are covering GeoVax on the extra channel. And you can see it's dramatically fallen off a cliff at the moment. Is that an opportunity to buy? Well, let's have a look. We know it's overvalued at the moment from a business standpoint. We still don't have the numbers. Let me see.
The shares, they're up about 7%.
Coming in from CNBC just yet. So we'll keep an eye on that. But we haven't got anything yet coming through. Let me check the numbers on our different platforms. Still waiting for that. If anyone sees anything, GeoVax is 15 minutes away from your call. So stand by for that. Let me give everybody on the main channel the GeoVax earnings. GeoVax earnings for you. Live now on extra. Okay. Let's give you that. Okay. We're good to go. We've got everything running. So let's make sure we are good. We are looking good now. So if you're on the extra channel, we've got GeoVax. Stand by. GeoVax is in just a few moments' time. Let me check the call. There's the call. Let me refresh it. There you go. We've got 15 minutes before GeoVax begins. For Soundhound, we've got a bit more time. So wherever you are, please do tap the like button and subscribe. Share these streams out. Let's try and get big numbers in here today so we can let the world know what's going on with these two stocks. We like these. GeoVax, of course, was all about the mpox situation. So GeoVax, hi all. I've given you the link. So we're fine over there. Tap the like button. You've got GeoVax in 15 minutes, so stand by for that. Soundhound, we are waiting for the call to begin. We've got a bit of time. Let me make sure we're all good here. Let me do a little test there. Just got that's right. That's all looking good. Okay. Right, we're cooking on gas right now. Let me get back into the main studio. We've got so much going on at once. We've got 15 minutes for GeoVax, and we've got 45 minutes before Soundhound. Let me see. I've got the numbers coming through. Let me check CNBC.
Up 8.5% to 9.5% previously forecast.
We're not interested in that. Let me check the numbers on Soundhound. Still waiting. All looking good. Okay. Got a big drop there. Everyone's expecting now. Exciting evening. Hoping a lot of you make a lot of money. Try and trade on your IRA so it's tax-free. Don't use your brokerage account. Too many people do that. End up losing a lot of money. Because end of the year, you've got to pay your tax whether you like it or not. Okay, stand by, everybody. We're waiting now. Soundhound here on the main channel And on the extra channel, we have GeoVax. GeoVax is 14 minutes away. You're in the right place. Okay, we're looking good. Everything is looking good. Let me check my extra channel. Okay. We're waiting for the SoundTown numbers, and we refresh again. And we've got nothing showing yet. Rocket Lab hits a 52-week high. $16 is up 50. It's up 8.7% after hours. Rocket Lab has done very, very well. We would have covered that, but we can't cover 3 earnings at once. We can cover 2, but not 3. Anyway, there it is. Switch account, extra, yeah. Come on. Oh, we got a super chat.
Jerry and Elba donated $5 a super chat on Extra. Hoping all is well.
Thank you very much indeed. Over on Extra, got a super chat just come in. Thank you very much. How lovely to see you. That's a lovely gift. Thank you for that. Can someone do a test for me on the main channel? Do a 99-cent super chat, please. Hopefully we fixed it now at the issue we had earlier. If someone could test that, it'd be really, really kind. I'd really appreciate it. Just 99 cents. I can't do it myself. It just doesn't work. But if you can, that'd be great. Okay. So if you just tuned in, we're all set and running now. We're up and running lovely. On the main channel, here on the main channel, we're doing SoundHound. We are 40 minutes away. Any moment now, we'll get the numbers. But on extra channel, we are doing GeoVax, and that is just 12 minutes away. And that stock is up. We can see that. My overall portfolio, 131, is holding steady tonight. Started with $5,000, so I'm extremely ecstatic with that. No problem at all. Let me jump in on GeoVax. We're up 16%. 16% on GeoVax tonight. Let me play this now. There we go. Let me check the audio feeds. Mute that. There we go. Sending through the monitors. Keeping you live. Great result for GeoVax tonight. Let's hope SoundHound has come straight back up again. So that's very exciting and encouraging. Now then, there's 58 watching on Extra. If everyone could tap the like button, that would be amazing. Let's go and check our poll. You all said very strong. Ah, right. Thank you, Stephen. Let's see if it plays. Let's see if it plays. Hopefully it will. No reason why it shouldn't. Thank you, Stephen, for helping me out. That's very kind of you, mate. Everyone tap the like button, please, on Extra SoundHound. Right. Now then, we want to get the earnings broadcast and shared by YouTube suggested. We've got 339 watching and 45 likes. Can everyone tap the like button, please? Let's get busy tonight. At least 100 will get it suggested by YouTube. And then we can get some information out there. Right. Still not showing any numbers.
Next quarter here for Oxy, adjusted EPS coming in at $1.
Oxy.
That was 26 cents ahead of estimates. But revenue was $7.15 billion. Of the $7.23 billion that Wall Street was looking for.
SoundHound going up now quickly. We're getting the likes go up now. YouTube will suggest this out. We've now got 56 likes. We've got 333 watching. Come on, everybody, smash the like button. Let's get this shared out.
Efforts achieving.
We're going to keep looking at the numbers. And still not showing.
On this, on the top and bottom lines, let's bring in Evercore ISI Head of Internet Research, Mark Mahaney. The margins here look good. Mark, tell me what you think. I'm particularly interested in the impact of the strong dollar on this company and the significance of this subscriber beat.
Well, the subscriber beat was nice. It was solid. It was
misses. Seconds away now. Right, we've got 10 minutes before GeoVax starts on the Extra channel, and this is awesome.
Margins, that's a record high, and the guidance implies
that we are just a few minutes away from getting the numbers. Yes, we are now getting suggested on YouTube. 114 likes. Thank you very much indeed, guys. That's absolutely awesome. Soundhound. We will leave it green. We want to encourage it to turn green. I know we should be red. Sorry, Stephen. I've no idea why it's not showing. It's very odd to me why it's not showing. It should be showing. If I test it, it does work. Look. See? It does work. I don't know why it's not coming
Kevin
through.
donated $47 through a super chat. This
Glenn
is a test
says,
super chat
I am
message.
here. Looks like GOVX smashed on earnings. Yes, GOVX is done very, very well indeed. Popped up. And let's have a refresh of the screen. We're watching it on the Extra channel. It has beaten on earnings. It's the best earnings for years. 91 cents compared to losing 91 compared to losing 148. So done very, very well indeed. A good trajectory upwards. The mpox thing has really helped. So there you go. So that's really good. GeoVax is on the Extra channel. We are covering that live. We're listening into that one. That starts in 8 minutes time. But here on the main channel, we are covering Soundhound. Big night ahead. Now then, we've got 54 watching on the Extra channel. 20 likes. Oh, we've got a new member. We've got a new member just come in here. We've got a new member just come in. I'll give you all your perks and benefits in a second. $99 talk my words cost me $2. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Stephen Lewandowski's trying to help test this little widget out. So thank you, Stephen. Welcome to the family. Right, I've got just time before the Soundhound starts and before I go and do the GeoVax earnings as well on Extra. So stand by. You just become a member of the channel. You get many perks. There are members-only live streams, members-only chats, so I can answer all the questions. As a member, you can ask me to cover an earnings for you, and I will. As a member, I will. You can ask me to do a full analysis, make videos on a stock of your choice. I will. You can call live into the show. You can access Discord, get the free training one-on-one with our scalp trading expert, plus all the scalp trading tips. A lot of my members make a lot of money. Many things. Plus, you get your own birthday song. We can have a 20-minute fundraiser. If you're silver, if you go on the homepage of the channel as a silver member, you can promote your business, your YouTube channel, whatever it is you like. Plus many more things. And here are a few. Seeking Alpha, you will get a discount. Alpha Spread, you'll get a discount. If you contact me on Instagram and X, I will engage with you, help you grow online. Here's the all links button for the birthday and Christmas cards, the cash giveaways, all of that. You can now join Extra for just 99 cents, be part of that. Here's the Discord link. If you do Discord, remember, it's a manual thing I do onboarding live. If you become a member, you get Discord for free. You can go onto Discord with that link and you can get all the services without being a member. Just become a Discord premium member. But if you do want it through YouTube for free, which you can, all you got to do is click on the link. It takes 10 minutes to get signed up because of the high security that we have. Do not accept a friend request from me. I do not send them. Scammers try to scam you. Do not do that. Give me your username here in the chat on YouTube and I'll manually upgrade you on the show. Here it is, the most important thing, the membership video. Go and watch that and I will. It tells you all the perks that you get. There are many perks. If anybody wants some free Robinhood stock, there it is. And there is the UK Robinhood stock as well. Many, many perks for my members. Welcome to the family. Lovely to have you here. Rocket Lab, yeah, we would have covered the earnings, but nobody did a $5 super chat. So we did Soundhound and GeoVax instead. All right, we are 5 minutes to go before GeoVax starts. Everybody on the extra channel, welcome to all of you. GeoVax is just 5 minutes away. Tap the like button. Here on the main channel, we have in the show now 376 with 114 likes. Please do tap the like button. We are moments away from getting this information, and then we can cover the earnings as well. Now, if our new members do sign, Martin, I am a gold member. You are a gold member on the extra channel. Did you? Is that what you just did? I believe you became a gold member. Let's have a look. Jerry and Elba. Jerry and Elba, you're not a gold member. If you were a gold member, you get extra. You get one-on-one with me personally with video calls. Let me just check. I don't believe you're a gold member. I'm pretty sure you're not, but I will look for you. Just bear with me. Let me just close that. Let me close that. A gold member. I don't think you are, but let me have a look. How long have we got? 3 minutes before the call, so I'm okay. Memberships. See your members. Jerry and Elba. I think you are a bronze member. Current level. Gold. Let me have a look. Oh, you are a gold member. Jerry and Elba, you are a gold member. And you have been for 2 months. Jerry and Elba, in addition to all the bronze memberships, you can go on the homepage of the channel if you want to promote your business. Also, you get 1 hour every month with me, live video calls. So if you want to know anything, you can call me live together. So, and you get discounts in the shop. So Jerry and Elba, thank you so much for your support. I didn't realize, or at least I've forgotten, but thank you so much for your extra support. Take advantage of all your gold perks. There are many. One of those is you can call in, you can call me directly and we can have a one-on-one call together discussing your stocks or whatever. So there you go. Sorry I forgot, but thank you very much indeed for your support of the channel. Okay. Yes, that's part of your gold service. So thank you so much. Now, we've got just a couple of moments to go. I want to do something very special now. This is why we're all here, to make money, but we're also to the more you give away, the more you help others, the better. This was my award from the Lions Club. I've raised millions of dollars for charity over the years, and this is one of those trophies. You can't really see it. From the Lions Club. I've raised charities, millions for charities all around the world. And what I want to do now is do it in a better way than I've ever done before. There is my music channel. Please subscribe to my music channel. Why? Because I want to raise millions of dollars for your charity for free with no fees, no credit card fees, and you can even claim tax relief if people donate to your charity. So what I want to do is YouTube will turn on charitable giving at 10,000 subscribers. This is my music channel. I'll put it in the chat again. Click on it. You haven't got to listen to my music. You haven't got to follow me. I perform as the Phantom. I've also been named by Elton John as a World Piano Man. All this great stuff. I do live concerts every Friday on my show. So join me for a live concert. But what I want to do is fundraising concerts for your favorite charity. At 10,000 subscribers, YouTube turn on charitable giving. It enables the stream or the video that we do for you, your favorite charity. If you subscribe to me and say, hey, Martin, all my friends at work, all my friends at my business, I've all done it. If you do that, tell me and I will do a fundraiser event for you. It has to be a registered charity. There you go. There's the first one that YouTube can link to. YouTube link to it. It doesn't go through me. I do the concert for free. I promote it for free. I do all the work for you. It's my gift to you. And there's not even credit card fees or YouTube fees. 100% of the money goes to charity. And if everyone does it here today, we will be at 7,000. We are very close. And then all you've got to do is come back to me when I get to 10,000 and say, Martin, would you do it for me? And I'll say yes. So please, everybody, I get nothing out of it other than the enjoyment of doing it. Everybody, there's 403 of you now. watching. Every single person subscribe to my music channel and make it possible for me to raise millions in the way I've done in person with my trophies, and I've just showed you that here on YouTube, on my music channel. Not this channel, on my music channel. Please, everyone, do something good. And the more you give to others, the more you get back. I live by that policy all the time. Right, GeoVax is about to begin. Here we go. No, not started yet. Any second now, GeoVax will begin on the extra channel, and here on the main channel, we're going to carry on with Soundhound. I will mute myself on the extra so you don't hear me, so don't worry about that. All right. Only one person done it. I can't believe it. Come on, everybody. Everybody, do something good. Pick a charity of your choice, whatever it is, and I will do it for free. Okay? Doesn't give me anything other than the pleasure of doing it. Okay. I've given you the link in the chat. I'm not going to do it again. We've done it enough now. 380 watching, 114 likes, 143 likes. Fantastic. This is 406. Amazing. Seconds away. GeoVax, standby. Earnings any second now. We are streaming it. Waiting for it to begin. Standby. Okay, we're still playing audio. Standby. Standby for Soundhound as well. Rocket Lab, fantastic result. GeoVax, seconds away. If you've just come in and you missed what we said earlier, we're trying to raise millions for charity, your charity of choice. Please subscribe to the music channel. Get to 10,000 subscribers. I will do your free concerts for your charities linked directly from YouTube. It's a proper thing linked to your registered charity of your choice, and I will do that for you. Okay. Is he running quantum computer? Is who running a quantum computer? Me? I've got 16 screens in here. We're running 2 shows at the same time. Here we go.
Michelle, and I'll facilitate today's call. With me are David Dodd, Chairman and CEO, Mark Reynolds, Chief Financial Officer.
GeoVax is now running. I will
Mark
mute myself.
Newman,
Thank
PhD,
you very much indeed.
Chief
Enjoy the
Scientific
call.
Officer, Kelly McKee, MD, MPH, Chief Medical Officer, and John Sharkey, PhD, Vice President, Business Development. At this time, all participants are in listen-only mode. A question-and-answer session will follow the formal presentation. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded. At this time, I'm turning the call over to Max Gatica of Precision AQ.
Thank you. Please note the following. Certain statements in this presentation may constitute forward-looking statements within the meaning of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act. These statements are based on management's current expectations and are subject to uncertainty and changes in circumstances. Actual results may differ materially from those included in these statements due to a variety of factors, including whether GeoVax can develop and manufacture its product candidates with desired characteristics in a timely manner, and such products will be safe for human use. GeoVax's vaccines will effectively prevent targeted infections in humans. GeoVax's product candidates will receive regulatory approvals necessary to be licensed and marketed. GeoVax raises required capital to complete development of its products, There is development of competitive products that may be more effective or easier to use than GeoVax's products. GeoVax will be able to enter into favorable manufacturing and distribution agreements, and other factors over which GeoVax has no control. GeoVax assumes no obligation to update these forward-looking statements and does not intend to do so. More information about these factors is contained in GeoVax's filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, including those set forth at risk factors in GeoVax's Form 10-K. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Chairman and CEO of GeoVax, David Dodd.
It is a pleasure to welcome everyone to the third quarter 2024 GeoVax corporate update call. Following my comments, Mark Reynolds, our CFO, will provide an update of our financials, and then your questions will be addressed. The third quarter included several major events in the development of GeoVax, led by the BARDA Project NextGen award valued at almost $400 million being announced during mid-June. This program is already underway with confirmation that all study sites have been selected, as well as our ongoing billings to BARDA. Mark will further discuss this during the financial review. We're delighted to have been paired by BARDA with Allucent as our CRO for the Project NextGen trial, as Allucent is our existing CRO supporting our ongoing CM04S1 and recently completed Gedeptin clinical trials. In addition, during quarter three, we announced plans to conduct a phase 2 trial of Gedeptin in combination with an immune checkpoint inhibitor among patients with locally recurrent head and neck squamous cell carcinomas following primary therapy and for whom resection with curative intent is planned. Thus far, clinical evaluation of Gedeptin therapy has demonstrated an acceptable safety profile and sufficient tumor stabilization or reduction activity to support plans to advance clinical development of Gedeptin in such an expanded phase 2 clinical trial. Relative to GOVX, our vaccine candidate against mpox and smallpox, we've continued to advance the program this past quarter from having the cGMP production of a master seed virus to establishing the working seed virus and currently having production of the first cGMP clinical substance batch underway with release anticipated by year-end. In addition, we're moving forward with our advanced MVA manufacturing process with preparation of our AGE1 master cell bank being initiated. These activities represent significant progress and milestones for GeoVax. Our goal is to successfully develop innovative cancer therapies and infectious disease vaccines, addressing critically important unmet medical needs, pursuing initial indications that support expedited registration pathways. We anticipate establishing business partnerships and collaborations in support of worldwide development, commercialization, and distribution. In late July, we announced plans to initiate a phase 2 trial with Gedeptin in combination with an immune checkpoint inhibitor for treatment of previously treated patients with recurrent head and neck cancer. The primary goal of this trial will be to demonstrate a pathological response with neoadjuvant Gedeptin therapy combined with an immune checkpoint inhibitor in previously treated patients with recurrent squamous cell in whom surgery with curative intent is planned. The company has initiated the necessary planning activities, including protocol development, manufacturing, and CRO selection, with the trial activation anticipated during 2025. We believe that the Gedeptin mechanism of action will enable us to address a variety of solid tumors, both cancerous and benign. We hold worldwide rights for all indications of this technology, and we are participating in various oncology and partnering conferences. We are encouraged by the clinical results we've seen thus far, and we're even more excited about trial activation as soon as possible. Our big news recently was the announcement of the BARDA Project NextGen award of almost $400 million, supporting GEO-CM04S1 in a 10,000-patient comparative trial against an FDA-authorized mRNA vaccine. This represents a highly significant event in the evolution of our company, which we believe represents a validation of our MVA technology and expertise. The vetting process was lengthy and rigorous, but we remained confident throughout, and we're delighted to be part of the Project NextGen vaccine program. Let me note that our vaccine selection represents one of only 6 vaccines awarded under Project NextGen. Already, all participating sites have been identified and selected by Allucent and manufacturing activities are proceeding in support of the study start during 2025. Our aim with CMO4S1 is to provide a more practical, public health friendly COVID-19 vaccine than that offered from the first generation approved vaccine. We believe that this is achieved by stimulating a robust and durable immune response across multiple virus variants as a result of the induction of both the antibody and cellular arms of the immune system against multiple virus antigens. This distinction is critically important in addressing the high-risk populations of immune-compromised individuals for whom the current vaccines are often inadequate. This represents the key differentiation between our vaccine and the first-generation authorized vaccines. Our vaccine utilizes a proven safe and efficient delivery platform, modified vaccinia ankara, or MVA, which does not replicate in mammalian cells. The safety of MVA has been well established and accepted by regulatory authorities worldwide, especially among patients with weakened immune systems, such as among pregnant women. That our vaccine platform, MVA, is also a standalone vaccine authorized for protection against mpox and smallpox is a unique feature which critically important clinical benefits, providing a significant differentiator for CMO4S1, especially when considered as a potential COVID-19 vaccine in regions endemic to mpox. A current example is within the Democratic Republic of the Congo, or the DRC, where there is a threatening outbreak underway. Also, the CDC recently issued a warning of continued mpox threats and risk within the U.S. In addition to its benefits in immunocompromised individuals and protecting from severe COVID-19, we believe that CMO4S1 has the potential for more general use as a heterologous booster to current mRNA vaccines, providing a durable and broadly functional immune response against emerging variants. The intriguing possibility is that GEO-CM04S1 could, by virtue of this immune profile, reduce the need for continuous vaccine reconfiguration that appears necessary with the mRNA vaccines. In fact, the HHS press release announcing our Project NextGen award specifically highlighted our award as providing the potential for a COVID-19 vaccine that provides broader protection, meaning encompassing a wider variety of variants, and the potential for increased durability than that evidenced by the current authorized vaccines. The current data thus far from our existing phase 2 studies is supportive of that potential. Relative to CMO4S1, we anticipate partnering collaborations and additional clinical and research efforts, and in support of worldwide commercialization and distribution. Active initiatives are underway in these areas. 3 phase 2 clinical trials are underway with CMO4S1, 2 of which address populations of immunocompromised patients at high risk for developing severe COVID-19. The other phase 2 trial evaluates our vaccine as a heterologous booster among healthy adults, following prior receipt of an mRNA vaccine. Overall, we hope to demonstrate that our COVID-19 vaccine successfully addresses the current unmet needs among the tens of millions of immunocompromised patients, while also demonstrating the vaccine as a more robust, durable booster vaccine used in conjunction with mRNA vaccines. I won't delve further into these specific trials at this time, but we welcome any questions you may have during our Q&A session. With the announcement of our Project NextGen Award and the progress in our other phase 2 clinical studies, our activities related to partnering and collaborations with GEO-CM04S1 have increased. We believe that GEO-CM04S1 represents significant promise as a critically needed and important part of the COVID-19 vaccine armamentarium for public health worldwide. In August, the WHO declared mpox as a public health emergency of international concern, highlighting the critical medical threat posed by this highly virulent virus. GOVX is well positioned and actively progressing GEO-MVA, our vaccine against mpox and smallpox, intended to disrupt the current global monopoly in that important area. Moreover, we believe that our efforts will establish GeoVax as the first U.S.-based supplier of such a vaccine. This may also provide GeoVax our initial step into revenue generation due to significant governmental interest in U.S.-based supply chains versus overdependence on non-U.S. suppliers. The strong sentiment in favor of such own sourcing initiatives remains a major national legislative focus and interest. We remain in active discussions and briefings with various stakeholders such as the White House, BARDA, WHO, the African CDC, and others regarding our progress towards having a CGMP clinical batch produced and manufacturing capabilities advancing. WHO has clearly stated the expectation of continued expanded migration of the mpox virus, reflected in recent reports of multiple cases in the UK. The need for expanded mpox vaccine supply is a priority for WHO and other public health agencies globally. Finally, we anticipate providing continued updates related to our advanced MVA manufacturing process, targeted to enable GeoVax to efficiently produce and distribute MVA-based vaccines in response to real-time market needs. We're confident that we're on a course that will build significant shareholder and stakeholder value while delivering critically important differentiated products to improve lives worldwide. From a commercial perspective, these medical need opportunities represent a tremendous estimated annual U.S. revenue potential. I'll underscore that this isn't a sales forecast, but rather a reflection of the significance of the need to address these critically important areas of healthcare, both clinically and commercially. Expanding on a worldwide basis in conjunction with partners and collaborators adds to the confidence we have relative to the outlook for GeoVax, our shareholders, and their stakeholders. Now I'd like to turn the presentation over to Mark Reynolds, GeoVax Chief Financial Officer, for a review of our recent results and financial status. Mark?
Thank you, David. I'll start reviewing with the income statement to begin with. Our contract with BARDA began on June 12th, so there were minimal revenues reported during the second quarter. But during the third quarter, ended September 30, we reported $2.8 million of revenues and $3.1 million for the 9-month period. There were no comparable revenues reported during the 2023 periods. This is a cost reimbursement contract, so future revenues will directly correlate with our billable personnel time and incremental expenses incurred. The total contract value direct to GeoVax is currently $26 million, but may actually increase up to $45 million. And keep in mind that a separate contract of $443 million was awarded directly to Elucent, the CRO that is conducting our trial. Those revenues won't show up in our financial statements. Research and development expenses were $16.1 million during the first 9 months of 2024 versus $14.5 million in 2023, representing an increase of roughly $1.6 million or 11%. This year-over-year increase is primarily manufacturing clinical trial materials and other costs associated with the BARDA contract. General administrative expenses were $3.8 million for the 9-month period in 2024 versus $4.6 million in 2023, representing a decrease of around $800,000 or 17%, primarily associated with lower stock-based compensation expense and a mix of other costs. Other income and expense was $70,000 in 2024 as compared to $675,000 in 2023, primarily reflecting lower interest income due to lower cash balances invested through our money market accounts. So overall net loss for the first 9 months of 2024 was approximately $16.7 million or $4.52 per share versus $18.4 million in 2023 or $10.42 per share. Again, with the increase primarily being driven by manufacturing activities and costs associated with the BARDA contract. Turning now to the balance sheet, our cash balances at September 30 were $8.6 million compared to $6.5 million at December 31st, 2023, reflective of $16.9 million used in operating activities, offset by $19.1 million in financing transactions, along with changes to our non-cash asset and liability balances. Our outstanding common shares currently stand at 9.4 million following the recent financings. Going forward, supporting the BARDA Project NextGen award is our top priority in terms of operational focus and the significant use of our research and development personnel. But it's important to keep in mind that the entire clinical program is fully funded by BARDA through the awards to GeoVax and to Elucent, our CRO partner. In terms of our actual funding needs, the Gedeptin and CMO4S1 clinical programs, as well as the development activities for the GEO-MVA mpox program, will be the most significant use of our cash for the foreseeable future. We are currently developing our capital formation plans to fund those programs through several evaluation inflection points. I'll be happy to answer any further questions during the Q&A, and I'll now turn the call back to David.
Thank you, Mark. My colleagues and I will now answer your questions. Joining us for the Q&A session are Drs. Mark Newman, Kelly McKee, and John Sharkey, our Chief Scientific Officer, Chief Medical Officer, and Vice President of Business Development, respectively. I'll now turn the call over to the operator for instructions on the question and answer period.
We will now begin the question and answer session. To ask a question, you may press star, then 11 on your telephone keypad. If you're using a speakerphone, please pick up your handset before pressing the keys. To withdraw your question, please press star 11 again. At this time, we will pause momentarily to assemble our roster. Our first question comes from Jonathan Aschoff with Roth Capital Partners. Your line is open.
Thank you. Good afternoon, guys. I was curious regarding that AGE1 cell line, for MVA manufacturing. What must you do to submit test batches to the FDA, to get to that point, and can you help us on that timing?
Sure, Jonathan. This is David. Thanks for your question. I'm going to ask Mark Newman and also perhaps John Sharkey to weigh in on that. Gentlemen?
Okay, so there's a pretty standard process of, evaluation that we would go through. So in process development, and that's well defined to the regulatory agencies. The key element will be purifying the virus to, again, standards that are acceptable by the FDA. We're just starting on the process development on that and we have plans defined to generate cell banks. So giving you timing on it would be a bit difficult, but I could estimate that once we start throwing people at it, this was qualifying the cell line, getting it to where we want, and then starting to run test batches, which would not be GMP, but would be products where we test quality of the virus, quality of our process, purity. That's probably an 18-month process minimum, but it could potentially be, this is one of those areas where you can put more effort on it and more people and expedite it if there's a reason to do so.
Okay, thanks for that. David, when might, for both the CLL and the healthy volunteer trials, when would we be able to see interim and final results respectively for those two trials?
I think clearly this quarter, and probably sooner rather than later, but before year end, we anticipate to be announcing and reporting the interim results for the CLL study as well as the final result. Now, the final results for the healthy volunteer, just from the basis of knowing a little bit about where the statisticians are, that could move into early next year. But as you're aware, that's a completed study. It's being cleaned up, the database analysis is being done, and we're obviously urging the statisticians to move faster rather than slower. So our goal is to be able to report both by year end. I think with certainty we feel regarding the interim results of the CLL study and relative to the healthy volunteer booster trial, that may float over into early next year, but we're hoping that it won't.
Okay. The last couple are just, have you made much progress? Can you tell us the progress that you've made in your request for expedited regulatory pathway for mpox? And then I just saw nothing about when you'll start enrolling trial patients in your 10,000 patient phase 2 COVID trial. I was just hoping that was something that was at least going to start by the middle of 2025, but you gave no timing on that. So I was wondering, when you could start enrolling those patients and the progress you made in expedited regulatory pathway for mpox.
So let me ask John Sharkey, who also serves as our executive lead on the GeoMVA, to discuss that one, and then I'll ask for Dr. McKee and Kelly to then address the Project Next Gen study starts.
Sure. Hey, Jonathan. We have not disclosed our regulatory strategy per se, but what I will share is we are in active engagement with the regulators. The guidance we're getting is because it is MBA, generally recognized as safe, that we're manufacturing on the chicken embryo fibroblast platform for the initial registration, that there is indeed an expedited pathway for us that will involve abbreviated trial structure and probably at most some bridging tox in animal models. We are continuing those discussions with the agency to finalize agreement on the clinical protocol design, as well as what, if any, additional animal work they would want to see to support the registration. But they've been clear that they do not see a need for us to do the traditional full tox, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 for this asset, given that it is MBA, that ancestrally it's very close to what is already approved. And we are, for the initial product introduction, we'll be using the chicken embryo fibroblast platform.
Okay, and so you wouldn't even have to do efficacy in animals?
Well, remember how MVA is approved for smallpox and monkeypox. It is approved with an immunological evaluation in humans as well as safety. Efficacy is demonstrated in animal models. We are having discussions with them what, if any, efficacy parameter would they want to see in an animal model to basically match the immunological response we're going to measure. If they end up requiring an animal efficacy leg, we could run that in parallel with the clinical trial, so it would not be at all rate limiting for us. The rate limiting will be running the immunological trial.
Thank you. And just finally, the next-gen trial start timing?
Yeah, Kelly?
Yeah, hi, Martyn. This is Kelly. Right now, we are projecting enrollment to begin around the 1st of October, the early part of October of 2025. That's being driven by the sort of manufacturing timelines. And that's kind of where we are.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing.
Thank you. Our next question comes from James Malloy with Alliance Global Partners. Your line is open.
Hey, guys. Thank you very much. Looking up past the fourth quarter here, what are the sort of the next steps we should anticipate here in early 25 for the primary vaccine trial, the CLL trial, the booster vaccine trial, all of which are putting out data end of this year, early next. Well, what kind of next steps we should anticipate, and what's the sort of end game on each of those trials where you can go to the FDA and start talking about next steps or potentially in filing?
Jim, thank you. This is David. I'll touch on those, and then Kelly, if you want to add to it. But the way we're looking at it is we want to see the results of the interim results of the CLL trial. Now, remember, that's an investigator-initiated trial. We've always felt that it's such a high-need immunocompromised population that there is an opportunity, we believe, for an expedited development process. We'll look at the results. We'll decide do we want to go forward with a company-sponsored trial and pursue that. That would involve also discussions in advance with the agency about our plans, et cetera, what the outcome might be. From the healthy volunteer trial, is really we're seeking to see the final results from there. When one thinks about it, Project NextGen is actually the expansion of that. It's a much larger trial. It's generally healthy, but it's a very diverse population type of both of study participants, and also it's a comparative trial. Our stem cell transplant trial continues to add sites and enrollment. And I guess I'd say with that, Kelly, would you like to add any other comments on this, on our trials for CM04S1?
No, you pretty much hit the high points. Just to keep in mind, the healthy volunteer study, we're comparing 2 doses of the vaccine. There's no active control and there's no placebo control in that study, and so we're not anticipating any surprises to come out of that. But as David indicated, we should have results of that, by sort of sometime in the first quarter of 2025, I think. For the cell transplant study, we're continuing to enroll our current trial. We anticipate continuing that enrollment through the end of next year. We've added a couple of additional sites, which should be coming online very shortly. I mean, literally within weeks. 2 additional sites to add to the 3 that are currently enrolling patients. We've got patients in active screening, so we're adding to the number that we've already enrolled, which is around 31 patients up to this point in time. So that study is continuing to accumulate data, which will be very important to us, going forward. It's not a registrational trial. We've sort of recognized that from the outset. But the data that's coming out of that study is going to be very, very supportive to any registrational trial that we do. We have another sort of more robust trial designed. The study protocol drafted already, and we're ready to launch that at the conclusion of this study, of the current study, which I think, again, with the data from the current study added to it, should position us pretty well to go talk to the agency about a registrational pathway.
Oh, great, thank you. And then on mpox and smallpox, a few folks looking to get some vaccines together for these. Who do you see as sort of the clear leader? Not yourselves, of course, in this space, and what do you think gets you to the finish line? Who do you get to the finish line first there? Or do you think it's something where you'll need multiple vaccines, different populations, what have you?
Yeah, John, do you want to pick up on that?
Sure. So the benefit of, there's 3 vaccines out there. There's ACAM 2000 vaccinia, which is indicated as usable in healthy individuals. There's LC16, which was registered in Japan, and that was tested in children. The vaccinia is a replicating virus. The LC16 is they refer to as a minimally replicating virus. Then there's MVA, which doesn't replicate. So the nice part about MVA, when you look at the WHO recommendation, it's recommended for healthy individuals, immune compromised, pregnant women, lactating women, children as preferred vaccine. So given all things being equal as far as availability, I think the general trend is if you have the option, you vaccinate with MVA because you don't have to worry about the patient's current health state. So we believe that the MVA will remain the preferred product in this space. The other ones are there, and depending on need, can be used. But our general sense of talking with people is that MVA is the preferred product. It is currently, right now, as you well know, a single source manufacturer, very complicated manufacturing process. If you want to make more MVA, you got to build new facilities. The process doesn't transfer easily to other facilities, which is the whole basis of our AGE1 platform. While we're going to that, because the benefits of the AGE1, besides being more productive, it's also a suspension cell line, which will now allow us to implement manufacturing in currently built vaccine manufacturing facilities that typically handle suspension cell lines. So that's how you change the paradigm in supply for these MVAs.
Okay, the last question then. And thank you for taking them. Could you characterize how the collaboration partnership environment looks currently, and then maybe just on a mechanistic question, the top line, about $3 million a quarter, is that we should anticipate until you get to the 26 or whatever the ultimate number comes to be for the BARDA contract? Thank you very much.
Mark Reynolds, do you want to touch on the financial first, and then I'll address the partner?
Yeah, so the financials, the reimbursement is on the cost reimbursement basis. So, we're recording, the revenue we record is based on just standard personnel time each month with overheads layered on top, and the rest will come, as the respective bills come in from manufacturing activities. The clinical trial piece of that is not going to be reflected in our financials. That's through Lucent, the CRO, who had a direct award from BARDA. I'm not sure if that answered the question, Jim.
Oh, just as we're modeling on this end, we sort of plug in about $3 million a quarter roughly going forward till you run through the $26 million.
Yeah, I think that for your model, I think that's a fair approach. You know, it's a little uncertain on our end, but I think that's how I model it for our internal cash flow projections.
Great, thank you.
And Jim, regarding the question about the partnering environment, et cetera, I'm going to ask John to weigh in on that because he and I have just returned from several weeks in Europe interacting with people about potential partnering, et cetera. So, John?
Yeah, the partnering area is still somewhat difficult in the sense that M&A and licensing has been a little bit depressed with everything going on. It's definitely picking up. People are actively engaging with us. They're reaching out to us to talk at the meetings, seeing some significant interest in Gedeptin. You know, the O4S1 is a little harder for some people to get their hands around because of all the political noise around it and that, you know, it's not a big issue at the pandemic's passed. But once we can engage them and explain that, yeah, it's passed for the healthy individual, but not for the immune-compromised individual. These are still the people at risk. They then begin to engage and understand that there's potentially a commercial opportunity present here for them. So I would say that, you know, people are engaging. They are interested in Gedeptin, clearly. O4S1, if we get the chance to tell them the story of where we see it fits, they will engage. And like anything else, it's getting finding that match.
Also,
yeah, actually, I would think.
Go ahead. I was just going to add, Jim, that it was surprising from some quarters to hear of the interest because of the need and the lack of access to mpox vaccine, so to the existing MVA. And so we had people pointing out that in their particular region of the world, their locations, they'd be very interested and have asked us to keep them updated as we progress with the GeoMVA.
Yeah, I was thinking too, Pfizer printing $2.3 billion in the quarter of Paxlovid, much as interest may have waned on Wall Street on COVID. COVID hasn't gotten tired of us.
No.
There's another thing that might be worth mentioning, and that is that, there was a recent publication out of the Fred Hutch that highlighted the fact that the clinical trials for the COVID vaccines have traditionally avoided enrolling immunocompromised patients. And, given that the need is so great in that population, there is sort of an increasing momentum to recognize the fact that these patients need to be in clinical trials. They need to be offered the opportunity to participate in vaccine trials. And we're hoping that that's going to, the attention that's starting to get with the institutions that manage these patients is going to encourage some greater participation on the part of both investigators and patients.
Thank you for taking the questions.
Good point.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Jason Colbert with DeBoer Capital. Your line is open.
Thanks, guys. A couple of questions. I'm just wondering if you've been watching the launch of PEMGARDA and what you think of that, because it is, while it's not a traditional vaccine, it's a monoclonal antibody, it is targeting immunocompromised patients for COVID. And are there any lessons to be learned from that?
So I asked Kelly if he'd like to weigh in on that.
Yeah, we're certainly aware of that it was launched, and it's clearly offering benefit to these patients. I think it's worth recognizing that monoclonal antibodies are not totally innocuous on the one hand, there are a number of patients that have had bad reactions to those, not necessarily that one, but other monoclonal antibodies. And the fact that, the half-life of these antibodies is pretty much restricted by, the nature of what they are. And so, one of the advantages that we think we're bringing with our vaccine is, by stimulating a strong T cell response, we're enhancing sort of the memory response that these patients will develop to vaccination, and will offer them a more prolonged protection against developing severe disease or worse. So I think PEMGARDA is certainly can be viewed as a competitor product in one sense, but it has advantages and disadvantages just like vaccines do.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's interesting. I think they could actually be complementary in a lot of ways. You did a very good financing in August, particularly when you look at where the stock was then and where it is now. One of the biggest challenges in the microcap world is financing. Can you talk a little bit about what the strategy is to kind of get across the next 12 to 24 months, where it seems like you have multiple inflection points coming? Thanks.
Thank you. So, Mark, would you like to pick that up? I'll toss that to you. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't answer the exact strategy, Jason, other than to say that we've got multiple tools in our tool belt now. We've recently installed an ATM facility. We've got ongoing conversations with multiple bankers, and we've recently been able to extract ourselves out of the baby shelf restriction for selling shows under a shelf registration. So we've got a lot of opportunities here to efficiently raise capital with better terms that we've seen in the past, and I'll kind of leave it at that.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks so much for the update.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Vernon Bernardino with H.C. Wainwright. Your line is open.
Hi, David, and everyone else.
Hey,
thanks for taking my question, and apologize for the graininess of this connection. I just wanted to ask a question about R&D expenses. What costs do you think you may continue to incur regarding manufacturing materials for the clinical trials with O4S1 and the BARDA contract? And with Oxford Biomedica manufacturing supply for you, is that something where they manufacture supply and then you pay them? What kind of accounting treatment is used there, and what level of expenses do you incur there?
Mark, you want to address those?
Yeah, I'll try to answer the question as best I can. Our relationship with Oxford Biomedica is, we have multiple task orders with them for various different manufacturing campaigns for different products, and it is I won't call it necessarily a bill as you go, but there are like the standard contract might be 40% up front, 40% on a certain milestone, and then 20%. What you see reflected in our financials, we've had some heavy expenses during 2024 for our manufacturing campaign, and much of that is going to be behind us now. So we're in a good position. Relative to the material for the BARDA contract, that's going to be fully paid for by BARDA. I mean, we pay for it, but it gets reimbursed by BARDA, so it's really a wash for us. Much of that cost is still in front of us, but it really doesn't affect us on a cash flow basis, except for a minor bit of working capital needs, just while we wait on getting reimbursed from BARDA, which is quick. They pay us within 30 days of when we submit the expenses. So I don't know. Does that sufficiently answer the question?
Yeah. Just to clarify those, So if you were to incur those expenses this month, you would be paid in December and not in January?
If we would probably be paid in January because, we bill BARDA on a monthly basis at the end of the month. So a cost incurred in November, for example, if we pay for that right away, or even if we don't pay for it, if the expense comes in November, we submit our invoice to BARDA first week of December. We get paid the first week of January.
Great. That's very helpful. I appreciate answering my questions, and congrats on the process. On progress. Looking forward to the readouts in the coming weeks.
Good.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Robert LeBoyer with Noble Capital Markets. Your line is open.
Good afternoon, and congratulations on a really great quarter. Just wanted to congratulate the whole team on all of the achievements that have been reported in the last quarter, and just applaud the progress that you've made in the face of some really difficult times in the past. My question has to do with Gedeptin and the mention in the press release that the phase 2 will be a single cycle trial, and pathological response rate will be the primary endpoint. I was curious if you could expand a little bit about the treatment and whether a single cycle trial means single cycle of Gedeptin and standard dosing of the checkpoint inhibitor, or one single cycle of each, and if there were any specific pathological response endpoints that you could share at this point.
Thank you. Kelly?
Yeah, I'll do my best. We have a clinical oncologist on staff that's been sort of driving the design and prosecution of this program. But so where we are is the single cycle refers to the single cycle of Gedeptin. The study will actually involve, a cycle of Gedeptin plus which is, ADP&P plus fludarabine, along with a single cycle of pembrolizumab that will be followed by another cycle of pembrolizumab, then followed by surgical resection of the tumor and observation for effect. So it's to answer your question directly, it's a single cycle of Gedeptin plus pembro, but they're actually going to be 2 rounds of pembro given prior to surgical resection. Now the endpoints, we're looking for complete response, but we're also going to be monitoring for all sort of levels of pathological response. Our comparator is a recently completed trial that looked at pembro alone as neoadjuvant treatment for this class of patients, in which there was essentially no complete responses seen. So we think we've got a pretty good shot at demonstrating something that's better than what the current standard offers in that regard.
Okay, great. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And our last question comes from Karen Goldfarb with Crystal Research. Your line is open.
Thank you. It's actually Jeffrey Cross. I wanted to ask, 4 of my questions have already been answered, but I wanted to ask, with the durability, because obviously immunocompromised patients, we've addressed this before, there's so many immunocompromised patients and immunocompromised children out there. When you go to run your test for not only your clinical trials, the push to include immunocompromised patients, how big of an effort is that on your behalf? And the second part is, obviously, across all the vaccine platforms you're working on, durability and having the differentiation of having T cells activated and having the T cells educated and learned to go after the virus as it replicates. How long do you plan on conducting those studies in length to try and show that your product is more durable?
Kelly, you want to address that?
Sorry, I had to get myself off on mute.
That's okay.
So to answer your first question, our immunocompromised patient population is really our primary patient population target for CM04S1, and that's where we put the majority of our effort. Beside the BARDA trial, obviously, in our development programs. The durability question, in an ideal world, what we'd like to see is being able to reliably, measure durability over at least a 1 year period. And we're following all of our patients in our trials for 1 year after following their first dose of vaccine. What complicates that is, the virus continues to sort of be very prevalent, globally, and there continue to be, ongoing infections in these patients. And so,
right.
When we're trying to differentiate a natural infection from a vaccine-induced immune response, an immune response from a natural infection, from that induced by vaccines in patients that are getting infected, throughout the course of follow-up, it becomes very difficult. And so, we're very interested in the we know we're seeing breakthrough infections. We're not seeing any severe breakthrough infections to date. And we're very interested in following the intensity of infections that will be occurring in these patients. But trying to sort of sort that out immunologically is kind of a challenge for us. But we're working on some way, trying to come up with some workarounds.
Great, appreciate that. And the last question I have is, we're referring earlier to the 10,000 patient study. We were talking about we weren't sure when the first patient was going to be enrolled. When you look at the timetable after the first patient is enrolled, what is the timetable that you have right now that you're planning to see to get those 10,000 patients all enrolled?
The current thinking is that we'll get all those, assuming we start this trial when we think we're going to start this trial, which is again beginning of October 2025. We should be able to fully enroll this study within 6 months. That's the discussion that we have with our CRO, Allucent, as well as with BARDA, and that's kind of where we're thinking.
Great. Thank you very much, and thank you for the transparency. It's appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. This concludes our question and answer session. I would like to turn the conference back over to David Dodd for any closing remarks.
I want to thank everybody for participating in today's update, and also especially members of our team who have been so helpful in answering these questions. But we've had the opportunity to review our achievements, our progress, as well as our outlook. We strongly believe that Q3 represented continued and significant progress in the GOVX development as a result of the Project NextGen Award, our decision to proceed with an expanded Gedeptin Phase 2 clinical trial, and our progress with GeoMVA, as well as the advanced MVA manufacturing process. These are our priorities. These represent our focus. Your interest is greatly appreciated, and we look forward to ongoing interactions. As always, I'd like to acknowledge and thank the GeoVax Board of Directors and Advisors, our entire GeoVax staff, and the many other parties that continue to support us towards achieving success. We remain committed to providing meaningful career development opportunities for highly competitive, quality-oriented individuals seeking to disrupt the current paradigm of cancer therapies and infectious disease vaccines. We like doing that. We're most proud and appreciative of our team, including those external partners who continue to contribute to the progress and success underway at GeoVax. For all of us, it is a great pleasure serving our shareholders and being a part of this team. Our overriding goal is to improve lives worldwide through our development and commercialization of novel, critically needed cancer therapies and infectious disease vaccines. for today. Have a safe, enjoyable day, and thank you again for your support and interest.
This was an area of risk highlighted by investors in the past, and so it seemed important.
Everybody on Extra Channel, stand by. I'm going to transfer you now over to the main channel and join over 3,000 people who have been tuning in to Soundhound. Stay right where you are. Stand by.
Of the business mix from recent acquisitions, which we expect will deliver significant value over time. Adjusted for non-cash amortization of purchase intangibles, our non-GAAP gross margin was 60%. While the acquired businesses weigh on our margins, they provide deep customer relationships and essential enterprise-grade data assets. We anticipate margin recovery as we realize synergies from cloud data center migration, tech stack integration, and cost rationalization. Additionally, meaningful reductions in inference costs provide a favorable tailwind for our deployment.
Stand by on Extra.
R&D expenses were $19.5 million in Q3, reflecting a 53% year-over-year increase, primarily driven by our acquisitions. We are committed to delivering innovative products that exceed our customers' expectations and that enhance their experiences. Our focus includes advancing our voice AI engines, integrating leading LLM architectures to elevate our offerings, and investing in high